Welcome to the Counselor Overview for setting up and utilizing payer fee schedules. In this overview, we're going to review the process for setting up specific fee schedules for individual payers, as well as the process for determining those payers at the level of the Superbill and then automatically updating your pricing. Now, before we start, just a quick word of caution. This is a powerful tool, but it is very important that you only utilize this if you know the specific pricing that a specific payer will give you based on individual products and services. Typically, this is derived from your contract with that payer or any published fee schedules available. This is not best used if you think you know what the provider will pay. The risk that you run in that case is that if you set a specific price within the fee schedule and then bill that to insurance, but in fact they would have paid more, you would have been better off in that case by billing your usual and customary. So just a quick word of advice there before we move forward. Like I said, though, this is a powerful tool with a great deal of benefit. So we're going to start here in the line item administration. So to get there, we went through administration and then line item list. What we're going to do to keep this simple is we're just going to grab one service and show the process for getting the fee schedule in place, and I'll show you the mass update feature as well. So we'll start here by just taking the first option on the list here. We'll go with basic vestibular evaluation. Within the individual item here, we can see there's a tab for fee schedule. It will then show you all of your available payers that are defined in the system. Now, just a brief aside here, let's look at how you set your payer list. You go to administration, under invoices, you go to payer types. All right, so in the payer type list, you can see everything you have. Of course, you can add more or you could modify these as needed. But these are the ones that will show up once again when we're setting up the fee schedule. All right, so let's go back to the line item list. Once again, back within the basic vestibular evaluation settings here, we can go to the fee schedule tab, and now we have the ability to basically say, okay, what do we want to add here? So we're going to say, well, first off, I should reference that the retail price for this is $275. If we have nothing here, it will just automatically default to $275. So there's no requirement to enter any information here, unless you want to. Let's give one example here. Let's say in the case of Medicaid that we know this bills out at $210. Okay, then of course we can leave the rest of these alone. If there are any notes you want to add to this as well, you certainly can. That will then display in the Superbill as you are adding that, making that selection within the Superbill. So in this case, I'm just going to put in a very generic word here, test. Okay, and then what we're going to do is jump back to the item detail and click Save. So at this point, we have now updated the fee schedule for the basic vestibular evaluation. Okay, so that's sort of a one-by-one approach. If you want to speed up this process, there is a mass update tool available under the Actions menu, under Mass Update Fee Schedule. So if we go there, then you go ahead and choose the payer type. All right, let's choose Medicaid. We can now see the amount that we just entered and the note. And then you can go through the rest of in this case, the services, and put in this case, your Medicaid fee schedule, right? Or whichever payer it is, or whatever the scenario. Once again, if there are certain items or services that do not have a specific pricing, then just leave it blank. It will automatically revert or refer to the retail price. Okay, and then of course, once you're done with that, go ahead and click Save. And then you can go right to the next payer and update that information as well. All right. And then if you want to do this, of course, for different items and services, go ahead and just change the type, the line item type, and then you go ahead and do the same thing, either individually go in or use the mass update feature in the same way. But let's go ahead and see this in action now. So I'm going to jump into a specific patient visit here. So we'll keep this pretty basic. We're going to go into a visit we've already created here and go straight to the Superbill. So normally you'd have other codes and things. What I've done here is just added the basic vestibular evaluation to this Superbill. Then we'll click Edit Superbill, just to kind of a closer look here. All right, so in this case, I had already selected Medicaid as the payer when I previously set this up, but just to show you how that can be modified. So see here, it's at $210. If you recall, the retail price in this was $275. So if I switch to none selected, for example, it will then update to $275. If I switch to private payer, it will remain at $275. Same thing if I went to insurance. But if I jump back to Medicaid, we'll see it revert to the Medicaid pricing. Okay, in addition, you'll see this in the line items down below. So for example, here it'll reset the pricing. We can see that not only to say basic vestibular valve, it's showing us our note test, and we're seeing the Medicaid pricing. If we're using a different payer, then it will show the standard pricing. So before you even select any items or services, you can see the actual pricing and any notes that are associated. Okay, in this case, with the retail price, there is no note associated, so it doesn't show that anymore. Okay, so that's how very quickly you can set up your line items with specific pricing, how you can use it at the Superbill level, so as you're creating your Superbill. And then, of course, the process from here is the same as normal. You would go ahead and finalize. You could send a chat message to the front desk, and then, of course, they'd launch the invoice from here. That will then set the payer type on the invoice. So in this case, it'll set it as Medicaid, and it has set the line item with that specific pricing. So this tool is largely designed to enable you to behind the scenes set up your pricing, apply it as you're creating your Superbill, and then have that information communicate forward to the invoice and of course then onto the claim. Of course, if you have any questions about this process, about the setup or utilization, please give us a call, email us, live chat us. We are always happy to help. Thank you very much for joining us for the counselor overview for the payer fee schedules.